Hello everyone, hope you all are fine and doing good. So children, in this video what we are going to study, we are going to study about the nutrition in the plants, that how the nutrition takes place in the plants, because as all of us know that directly or indirectly, being in human beings, means we all are dependent on the plants. That is the only one source of food on which we are dependent. Fine. So in this video we will study that how the nutrition takes place in the plants. In previous videos what we have studied? We have studied that how the nutrition takes place in the animals. Now in this chapter, in this video, we will be studying that how the nutrition takes place in the plants. Now see children, as you all know that plants are also the living organism and we all are directly or indirectly dependent on the plants. But plants are also the living organism. They also have to perform several life activities, several life processes, and for performing all these kinds of the life processes, they also need the energy. Like us, they also obtain their energy from the food, as we are obtaining the energy from the food. So the plants are also obtaining the energy from the food. But have you ever seen that the plant is eating any kind of the food? Never. You never have seen that any plant is eating food with the help of their branches, etc. Fine. Then how they obtain their nutrition? By which process they are obtaining their nutrition? That all we will read in this video. So first of all, the very first thing is that we have to study that what is a nutrition. So nutrition, as you can see here, we are getting different kinds of the nutrition from the different kinds of the plant products, as well as different kinds, as well as we are also getting the nutrition from different kinds of the animal products also. Fine. So let's talk about the nutrition, that what is a nutrition. The very first thing is that nutrition, as the word defines, it is derived from the word nutrient. Now the second thing is that what is nutrient. Now see children, nutrient is a substance which an organism obtains from its surroundings to get the sufficient energy for performing different kinds of the life processes, as well as for the growth and development of the body parts, as well as for the growth and development of the whole body. Now see children, listen it very carefully. Whatever the food items we are eating on the daily to daily life, from where we are getting these kind of the food items? We are getting these kinds of food items either from the plants or from the animals. So plants and animals are what? Plants or animals are the part of our surroundings. That's why it is said that nutrient is what? Nutrient is a substance which an organism obtains from its surroundings, whether from the plants or from the animals, to get energy for doing different kinds of the activities which we are performing on the daily to daily basis, as well as for the growth and development of our whole body. Now see, whatever the food items we are eating, now here also you are seeing different kinds of the food items are given. So whenever we are eating these kind of the food items, now in these kind of the food items which we are eating, some kind of the nutrients are also present in it, and these nutrients are also very much helpful, very much beneficial for the proper growth and development of our body, as well as for repairing the damaged parts of our body. So with the help of these nutrients, we are able to live properly, we are able to perform different kinds of the activities, etc. Now sometimes see children, what happens when small children are playing outside, then sometimes they fall off and they have any kind of the injury on the leg, hand, etc. Now see what happens whenever they fall down, sometimes there is a bleeding also. So what happens at that time when they fall down, some parts of the cells were damaged, and after few days, if you will see, then those cells are being repaired. Now have you ever noticed that why these cells are repaired? Now these cells are able to repair just because of the nutrient which you are taking from the different sources. Fine. So with the help of those nutrients, we are able to repair our damaged parts of our body, as well as they are also providing us sufficient energy to do different kinds of the activities. Because if we will not get any kind of the nutrient, if we will not eat any kind of the food, then also we are not able to survive anymore. We are not able to perform different kinds of the activities which we are performing on the daily basis. Now see, based on the modes of obtaining food, that how we are obtaining the food, right? By which sources we are obtaining the food, the organism, whichever the organism are found on the earth, that are being classified into two types, that is called as the autotrophs and the heterotrophs. So one by one we will read about the autotrophs and the heterotrophs. Now the next thing that we have to study about the mode of nutrition in the plants. Now see, as you all know that being the living organism, we all are directly or indirectly dependent on the plants. But the plants are also the living organism. They also have to prepare their own food. Now see, the plants are the only living organism that can prepare their own food, that can synthesize their own food. And how they are synthesizing their own food? They are synthesizing their own food with the help of some inorganic raw materials, that is called as a water, carbon dioxide and minerals. Fine. So this is also very much interesting, that since the plants are the living organism, and in spite of being living organism, they are able to prepare their own food with the help of the inorganic raw material, that is called as a water, carbon dioxide and minerals. Water they obtain from the soil with the help of the roots. Minerals also they get from the soil, as well as the carbon dioxide they obtain from the atmosphere. Now further from all these things, solar energy is also required by the plants for preparing the food, and that's why this process is called as a photosynthesis. Now as you all know, all these kinds of the raw materials are found in the surroundings, in the atmosphere, in the soil, etc. Fine. Now why these nutrients is necessary for the plants? So these nutrients are also necessary for the plants for performing different kinds of the activities, because plants is also a living organism. So plant also have to perform activities. So they are able to perform their activities with the help of the food which they are preparing or which they are synthesizing. So this is all about the mode of nutrition in the plants. Now the next one we have to study about the autotrophs, and the next one is the heterotrophs, or you can say autotrophic nutrition or the heterotrophic nutrition. Now see, as the word defines, if you will break this autotrophic word into the two parts, then what it defines? It is breaked into the auto as well as the trophos. So auto means what? Auto means self, and the trophos means the nourishment. So the organism which are able to synthesize their own food, that are called as what? That are called as the autotrophs, and the mode of nutrition is called what? Which kind of the nutrition? They are called as the autotrophic nutrition. So the examples of the autotrophs are what? Examples of the autotrophs are the green plants and the few bacteria, because the green plants and some kinds of the bacteria are there. They are able to synthesize their own food with the help of some inorganic raw materials. That's why they are nourishing themselves. How they are nourishing themselves? By preparing their own food. That's why they are called what? They are called as the autotrophs, and the mode of nutrition is called as the autotrophic nutrition. So what is autotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition is found in the green plants as well as in some kind of the bacteria, and the organism which are able to prepare their own food, which are able to synthesize their own food, they are called as the autotrophs, and the mode of nutrition is called as the autotrophic nutrition. Fine. So this is all about the autotrophic nutrition. Now the next one that we have to study about the heterotrophic nutrition. What is a heterotrophic nutrition? Similarly, what you have to do, if you will break this word heterotrophic into two parts, then you can see the meaning of heteros is what? The meaning of the heteros is the other, and the meaning of the trophos is the nutrition. So the organism which are obtaining their nutrition from the other organism, they are called as a heterotrophic nutrition. And you can see here, likewise us, we are the human beings, and some kind of the non-green plants, whichever the non-green plants and the animals etc. are there, they all comes under the heterotrophs. Why? Because we as the human beings, even we are the human beings, we have several kinds of the the sense organs, etc. And then also we are not able to prepare our own food, so we are also dependent on the other organism. That's why we are also called as a heterotrophs. Likewise, the animals, whichever the animals you are seeing, you are seeing that either they are eating the plant or the leaves, etc., or they are feeding on the other animals. Fine. And some kinds of the animals are there, they are eating both, but you can say that they are dependent on either the plants and the animals, so they are also called as a heterotrophs. As well as whatever the non-green plants are there, likewise the mushrooms, etc. So since they are non-green, even they are the plants, but they are not green in color, so in that the chlorophyll is not there, so they are not able to prepare their own food. Fine. So these non-green plants are also comes under the heterotroph. So what is an heterotrophic nutrition? Heterotrophic is the nutrition which is found in the human beings, animals, and some non-green plants also. Fine. Because we all are not able to prepare our own food, so we are dependent on the others. We are dependent on the others for getting the nutrition, and only when we get the nutrition from the other organism, then only we are able to perform different kinds of activities, and then only we are able to derive energy. Fine. So we all comes under what? We all comes under the heterotrophic nutrition. Now based on the type of the food which the living organism can be categorized, they are categorized into the three parts, that is the herbivorous, omnivorous, and the carnivorous. Based on the type that from which sources we are obtaining the food, it is categorized into the three parts, that is called as the herbivorous, carnivorous, as well as the omnivorous. Now all of you must be familiar with these words, that herbivorous are what? Herbivorous are the animals that eat only the plant and the plant products, such as the grass, leaves, grains, fruits, etc. So these kinds of the animals which are only eating the plant products are called as the herbivorous. And the examples of herbivores are what? Examples of the herbivores are the cow, deer, goat, elephant, squirrel, etc. Now the next thing is that what are the carnivorous? All of you know that the organism which feed on the other animals for their food requirements, for fulfilling their food requirements, they are called as a carnivorous. And carnivorous are what? Carnivorous are the lion, tiger, frog, lizards, etc. Right. Now the third one category, based on the type of the food item they are taking, that is called as the omnivorous. Now omnivorous are what organism? Or omnivorous are the organism that eat both the plants and the animals, are called as the omnivorous. And the examples of the omnivorous are what? Of course us human beings, because we are some kinds we are eating the food which we are getting from the plants as well as from the animals also, as well as the ant, crow, dog, and the sparrow, etc. So all these are the examples of the omnivorous. Now the next thing that we have to study, that is all about the photosynthesis. Now photosynthesis, as all of you know, that this is the process by which the plants are able to prepare their own food. So let us study about the photosynthesis, that how the photosynthesis takes place in the plants. Children, all of you must be familiar with this word that is called as a photosynthesis. Now see, if you will break this word photosynthesis into two parts, then it will also give two meanings. Photo means light and synthesis means to prepare food. So the organism which are able to prepare their food in the presence of the light, in the presence of the sunlight, right, in that organism, those organisms are able to prepare their food with the help of the photosynthesis. And who are able to prepare their food with the help of the photosynthesis? All of you know that the plants are the only living organism which are called as autotrophs, because they are synthesizing their own food. That's why how they are able to prepare their food? They are able to prepare their food with the help of a process that is called as a photosynthesis. And how they are able to prepare their own food? They are able to prepare their food with the help of some inorganic raw materials we have read before also, by using which organic raw materials? That is the carbon dioxide, water and the minerals, and all these organic raw materials they are obtaining from the atmosphere. Now see children, the very first thing that we have to study, the leaves. The leaves are called as a food factories. Now the question is that why they are called as a food factory? So the leaves are called as a food factories because they are responsible for preparing the food for the whole plant. Fine. The leaves are what? Leaves are called as a food factories. Why they are called as a food factories? Because they are able to prepare the food for the whole plant. Therefore, since they are preparing the food for the whole plant, therefore it is also necessary that all the raw materials whichever is required by the plant to prepare the food, they must reach the leaves. So the plants takes the water and minerals from the soil. What happened? As you have read in the lower classes that the plant is divided into so many parts. It is divided into the roots, stem, leaves, buds, etc. Now all of you know that whatever the part is below the soil, that is called what? That is called as a root part of the plant, and whichever part of the plant is present above the soil, that is called as a shoot part of the plant. Now as you all know that roots are where? Roots are under the soil. So the roots absorb the water and minerals from the soil. Afterwards, when the roots absorb the water and minerals from the soil, after then they transported it to the leaves as well as to the other parts of the plant. But mainly you can see that whatever the water and minerals is absorbed by the roots from the soil, they all are transported to the leaves for preparing the food. We have read about the water and the minerals, how the plants, how the leaves are getting the water and minerals for preparing the food for the whole plant with the help of the soil. You can see that with the help of a soil, in the soil different kinds of the water as well as the different kinds of the minerals are present. Now this water and minerals is also necessary for the leaves or for the plant for synthesizing their food. So from where they are getting? They are getting this kind of the water and minerals from the soil with the help of roots, and afterwards when these water and minerals are absorbed from the soil, it is transported to the leaves. Right. Now the next one, the next raw material with the help of which the plants are able to prepare their own food is the carbon dioxide. So let's talk about the carbon dioxide. Now carbon dioxide is another inorganic raw material which is used by the plants. Fine. A carbon dioxide, we have read that carbon dioxide from where the plants get? The plants get the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, the carbon dioxide is present. And children, how much amount of the carbon dioxide is present? It is present in the 0.03%. Fine. 0.03% of the carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. Now this carbon dioxide is used by the plants for preparing the food. And how this carbon dioxide is used by the plant? This carbon dioxide is used by the plant with the help of the tiny pores or the tiny apertures. There are so many kinds of the tiny openings are found on the surface of the leaves, and these tiny openings are called as a stomata. Now whatever the tiny openings are found in the surface of the leaves, they are also surrounded by a particular cell that is called as a guard cell. So what is all about the carbon dioxide? Listen it very carefully, that carbon dioxide is another organic raw material which is used by the plants for preparing the food. And from where the leaves are getting the carbon dioxide? They are getting the carbon dioxide from the environment. Carbon dioxide is a type of gas which is present in the environment. So plants intake the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere with the help of a stomata, and the stomata is what? Stomata is the tiny openings or that small openings, small apertures that is found on the surface of the leaf. Now this stomata, whatever, just a minute. Suppose you can see this is a leaf and so many tiny openings are found in this leaves. Now this tiny openings is also surrounded by a particular cells that is called as a guard cells. We will read further about the guard cells. Fine. So this is all about the carbon dioxide, that from where the leaves obtain the carbon dioxide and how it is being used. Now whatever the water and the minerals are transported to the leaves for preparing the food, they all are transported with a pipe like structure. Fine. Suppose whatever the minerals and the water is being absorbed by the root, they are transported to the different, or mainly you can say they are transported to the leaves. But how they are transported to the leaves? They are transported to the leaves with the help of a pipe like structure, and that pipe like structure is called what? This is called as the vessels. Now these vessels run throughout the root, it runs throughout the branches and the leaves, and thus a continuous path is formed for reaching these nutrients to the leaf. Now as we have also read that in the process of the photosynthesis, the sunlight is also required, the solar energy is also required. Now see how the leaves traps this solar energy. Fine. Now see, in the leaves, most of you have seen that the leaves are green in color. And why they are green in color? Because they have a green color pigment. A green color pigment is found on the leaves, that is called as a chlorophyll. Now this chlorophyll, which is a green color pigment, and this chlorophyll is also called as a light absorbing pigment, and this light absorbing pigment is only found in the green plant. So chlorophyll capture the energy from the sunlight. Whatever the energy they are getting from the sunlight, it is being absorbed by the chlorophyll. Now whatever the energy is absorbed by the chlorophyll, this energy is used for synthesizing food from the carbon dioxide and the water. Fine. So this is all about that how the photosynthesis takes place, and here you can see that the photo means light and synthesize means to combine or to prepare food. So in the presence of the chlorophyll, the plants are able to capture the sunlight, and with the help of this energy which was captured by the chlorophyll, the plants are able to synthesize their food from the carbon dioxide and water. Fine. Now the next thing is that solar energy. All of you know that solar energy from where we are getting? We are getting the solar energy from the one and only the ultimate source of light, that is called as a sun. Fine. So this process takes place in the presence of the solar energy. That's why this process is called what? This process is called as a photosynthesis. Now light is trapped or absorbed. By how the light is being absorbed and trapped, and or you can say that how this light is used by the leaves, then this light is trapped or absorbed by the green color pigment which is found in the leaves, that is called as a chlorophyll. Now see children, once again we see that how the photosynthesis takes place. See children, see it very carefully. In lower classes you must have learned about the plants, that the plants is being divided into the two parts. Let us see. The plants is being divided into the two parts, that is called as a root part of the plant as well as a shoot part of the plant. So this is a root part of the plant, and this is a shoot part of the plant. Fine. Now as you all know that in the roots different kinds of the roots are present. Fine. Now and in the soil also different kinds of the minerals as well as the water is present. So the roots of the plant absorb the sufficient water and minerals from the soil. After that, whatever the minerals and water is being absorbed by the roots of the plant, that all water and minerals is being transported to the leaves for preparing the food. Now how these all absorbed nutrients and minerals is being transported? They all are transported with the help of some conducting tissues. Fine. Suppose the roots have absorbed the sufficient amount of water and minerals, and after that they have to transport it to the leaves. So how they are able to transport it to the leaves? They are able to transport it to the leaves with the help of some conducting pipes, or you can say a pipe like structure is there. With the help of that structure, these are called as the vessels. They are able to transport food to the different parts of the plant, or mainly you can say to the leaves for preparing the food. Now as you all are seeing that leaves are what? Leaves are green in color. Fine. Here you can see that the sun is also there. Now in the leaves, why they looks green in color? Because a green color pigment is found in these leaves, and this green color pigment absorbs the solar energy. Whatever the energy, whatever the sunlight the plants are getting, they trap the energy, they trap the solar energy, and with the help of which the plants are able to trap the solar energy with the help of the green color pigment, that is called as a chlorophyll. Fine. Now the next thing is that in plants also we have read that in plants also the carbon dioxide is also needed. So how the carbon dioxide is being used by the plant? Carbon dioxide, as you all know, carbon dioxide is a type of gas that is present in the atmosphere, and the amount of carbon dioxide that is present in the atmosphere is 0.003%. Fine. Now how this carbon dioxide is being used by the plants? This carbon dioxide is being used by the plants with the help of some tiny openings that is called as a stomata. Fine. Some tiny pores are present, or you can say some tiny apertures are present on the surface of the leaves, and these tiny apertures are called as a stomata. These tiny openings are called as a stomata. Now this stomata, and this stomata is also surrounded by a particular cell that is called as a guard cell. So about the guard cell we will also study further. Fine. So this stomata helps what? This stomata helps to trap the carbon dioxide. The plants are intaking the carbon dioxide with the help of the carbon dioxide, solar energy, water and the minerals, etc. They are preparing the food, and afterwards when they are preparing, when they are using all these kinds of the organic raw materials, they are also producing a kind of the byproduct that is called as oxygen. Oxygen means they are also releasing, when they are intaking the carbon dioxide, then they are also releasing a kind of a gas that is called as the oxygen, and this oxygen is very much beneficial for all the living organism for their survival, for their sustenance on the earth, because without oxygen we are not able to survive anymore. So this is all about the photosynthesis. How the photosynthesis takes place? Once again you see that the sufficient water and the minerals is being absorbed by the roots. After that, whatever the sufficient minerals and the waters is being absorbed by the roots, it is being transported to the leaves for preparing the food. That's why the leaves are called as a food factories, because they are preparing the food for the whole plant. And how these is absorbed minerals and water is being transported to the leaves? It is being transported to the leaves with the help of some conducting tissues or some structure that is called as a vessels, and it is also called as a xylem also. With the help of this xylem or the vessel, it is transported to the leaves for preparing the food. Now leaves, in the leaves, on the surface of the leaves, some tiny openings are present that is called as the stomata, and stomata helps to capture the carbon dioxide. Stomata is used for intaking the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and in how much percent the amount of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere? It is 0.003%. Fine. Now the leaves are also absorbing the energy, and which kind of the energy they are absorbing? They are absorbing the energy which they get from the sunlight. Now how this sunlight is being used by the plants or by the leaves? Now see, in the leaves a green color pigment is found. Now this green color pigment is responsible for capturing the solar energy, and thus the solar energy is being used by the plants. That's why it is also called as a photosynthesis. That the process which takes place in the presence of the sunlight. Photo means light, that's why it is called as a photosynthesis. So this is all about the photosynthesis. Now the next one that we have to read, that during photosynthesis chlorophyll contain the cells of leaves in the presence of the sunlight use the carbon dioxide and the water to synthesize the carbohydrates. Now see children, as you all know that in the cells of the leaves a green color pigment is found. We have read that in the leaves a green color pigment is found, that is called as a chlorophyll. Fine. Now where this chlorophyll is present? This chlorophyll is present in the cells of a leaves. Now what is the work of this chlorophyll? That it absorbs the sunlight from the sun, and afterwards it uses the carbon dioxide and water to synthesize the carbohydrates, means to prepare the carbohydrates. What is the function of the chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is present inside the cells of the leaves, and the function of the chlorophyll is that to absorb the sunlight, and in presence of the sunlight they use the carbon dioxide and water to synthesize the carbohydrates, and this process can also be represented by the equation that is given here. Now see, here you can see that the carbon dioxide and the water is being used up by which? It is being used up by the chlorophyll in presence of the sunlight, and what the products is formed? The product form is the carbohydrate and the oxygen. As we have seen here in the previous one, we have seen here that some kind of the byproduct is also formed. When the plants are intaking the carbon dioxide, then oxygen is released as a byproduct, and the sugar also. Now oxygen is also one of the most important part of our life, because without oxygen it is not possible to survive anymore. So how the photosynthesis takes place? The carbon dioxide and water is being used up by the leaves in presence of the chlorophyll as well as in presence of the sunlight, and the carbohydrate and the oxygen is formed. Now during this process, as we have read that oxygen is released, the presence of the starch in leaves indicate the occurrence of the photosynthesis, and starch is also a kind of the carbohydrate. Now in the leaves, if you will see, then some kind of the starch is found. Now starch, this indicates, this presence of the starch indicates that the photosynthesis has taken place, and starch is what? Starch is a kind of the carbohydrate. This also you have to kept in mind. Now during this process, oxygen is released, and the presence of this starch in leaves indicates the occurrence of the photosynthesis, and starch is also a kind of the carbohydrate. Now let us take a look on this picture. Now I have told you that the leaf, in the leaf, on the surface of the leaf, different kinds of the tiny apertures are found, or the tiny openings are found. That is called what? That is called as a stomata. Fine. Now this stomata, whatever the tiny opening, here you can see that this is a tiny opening, and they are surrounded by a particular cell. Now this particular cell is called what? This particular cell is called as a guard cell, or here you can see it is also representing that this tiny opening is a stomatal opening, and they are also surrounded by a kind of cells that is called as a guard cell. Now this is another one section of a leaf. Here you can see that this is the tiny openings. Here you can see this is a tiny opening that is called as a stomata. They are surrounded by the guard cells, and this is the chlorophyll. Now what is a chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is a green color pigment which is found in the green leaves for trapping the solar energy, so that by utilizing that solar energy they are able to prepare their whole food. So this is all about the photosynthesis, which is the main process of the main process by which the plants are able to prepare their food. Now the next one that we have to study about the next thing we have to study about the what are the synthesis of food, or which other kind of the food the plants are able to synthesize other than the carbohydrates. Here we have seen that the plants are synthesizing the carbohydrates. Now the next one we have to study about that what are the other food that the plants are synthesizing. So this is all about today. We have studied about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, photosynthesis, as well as the autotrophic nutrition, as well as the mode of nutrition. So this is all about today. Hope you like the video and this video is helpful for you, and please give your suggestions below in the comment box regarding for more improvement regarding to this video. Thank you everyone, and please like, share and subscribe my channel. And if you like the video or if you require any kind of the improvement, then please give your suggestions below in the comment box. Thank you everyone.